rolling deep with Zully the pass over to the consider was the categories as good of bounds as your bottomless, no save quit on first against no, you know, I've been a student OB. We got Salatman racing Canis and King Hippo racing Godzilla. Now, Godzilla and King Hippo are one seed within each other. They're going to be a really close matchup. Their PBs are super close. Their sum of best is like within 7 seconds. Going to be a really tight race there, and also anything can happen with Salatman and Canis. So get hype, rolling deep. Shout outs to Emma and Noob Dude Bro Sick on commentary, rolling deep.
Thank you, RP Godfather, for the rolling deep intro as always.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. So as he said, iaregodzirra and King Hippo are very closely seated. But the interesting thing is, although iaregodzirra is slightly higher seated or lower, depending on how you want to think of it, he PB'd about a week ago and has a better time than King Hippo right now. But their PBs are still very, very close. So that's going to be a good race. And the other interesting thing is that going into seeding for the tournament, Salatman was fairly low seeded, but about a week ago he also PB'd, and his new best is better than Canis's best. So that should be very, very close as well, even though the seeds are not as close.
Canis actually PB'd during his last race as well, so he improved his time quite a bit.
Oh, wow.
So I think that, yeah, we've got a lot of good runs here that we're going to see today.
Definitely. And I'm pretty sure all these runners are pretty close to each other. All four of them. So even though, you know, there's two separate races going on, we should be able to compare all of them throughout the race. It should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think between the first and the last person here, it's about 7 minutes. So, but there's there's a potential, for the other people to PB, or some of like the better players, I guess, to not do as well. So we should see something interesting here today.
This is a link to the past, so
yeah. One thing to note is that King Hippo is like an old school 2012 player. His PB was actually, I think, back in 2012 still, and we'll be seeing a lot of old school strats from him. It's very exciting to see. Shout outs to King Hippo, rolling unfathomably deep.
Definitely trying to roll deep. At least I hope. No one rolls deeper than the RP Godfather, though, with his fence dashes and early bomb jumps in Skull Woods. Alright, so these runners are coming up on the ball and chain guard. Pretty straightforward, but the biggest threat in this segment by far. A couple different strategies. Some people use the 8/, some people use the pot. Very, very close. One's not really that much better than the other. So once they get past this, it looks like Salatman is down to a half a heart, so he might try to pick up a safety heart somewhere along the way, because there are a lot of enemies in this segment that can just turn very quickly in different directions and come out of nowhere and hit you. So we'll see if he decides to pick up any hearts along the way that he had access to. All the other runners looking fairly okay. Yeah, we do see Salatman picks up a heart. That green guard room. Way back to the main room.
Yeah, it's probably a smart decision, especially with all the RNG coming up in the later sections of Escape.
Yeah, the sewer section of Escape just is so annoying to deal with. just because of all the RNG. The rats move quickly and can turn in basically any direction. Same thing with the snakes. So, really easy to get hit by anything along the way.
Alright, so how about a sync on the timers here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I got everyone's timer at 1, 2, 3. That's for everybody.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Sure.
Alright, so now that we're all synced up, we're ready to go. Make sure we don't spoil anything a few seconds early. And they're all coming through escape now. The differences in escape will basically be movement patterns, making sure you do the best movement possible to get through each individual room. It's a lot harder than it looks, and a lot of the most optimal movement in the game isn't really that straightforward. And then the other aspect is the RNG, especially in the second half, the sewers part of the segment, where, as we were saying, there's a lot of enemies placed in different rooms that can move quickly in any direction cardinally, so
And I think
everyone
that,
gets through it quick.
Yeah, I
Go
think
ahead.
that we might expect the sank cart from everybody here. Just maybe if they don't usually grab it in their runs, it's just a good safety for the race, especially because everybody is so close in PBs that it can definitely, be the difference between winning or losing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something we've said the entire tournament, is that Sanctuary Heart is the most common and definitely worth it in terms of all the safeties. You only lose about 3 or so seconds to pick it up, and it can save you in so many different places. The first one being in the Eastern Palace, because you do get the heart refill. So this next dungeon, it's nice to have not only the extra heart, but the refill of hearts depending on how much damage you took. And all of the runners took a little bit of damage in the castle segment.
Yeah, I think another important spot where it's used is with Palace of Darkness for the Helmasaur fight. Usually see a lot of people. It kind of gives you like an extra hit or so with Helmasaur, so it could definitely come in handy.
Yeah, that's the place where I know it's the most prominent because you get that extra hit on the boss. But there's plenty of other places as well. And the other thing about it that is overlooked is not only, when it saves you when you're down to 1 heart in a lot of different areas, but there are a lot of people who would like to pick up certain hearts if they've taken too much damage too early on in a segment. So the Sanctuary Heart might give you that little boost of confidence, say, okay, I can skip picking up this heart, going, that 1 or 2 seconds out of my way to get it. And that can add up over the run if you do that a few times. So that's a really good part of it too.
Yeah, you can see Canis there only had 1.5 hearts, so had he not grabbed the sank card, he'd be down half a heart, which could be pretty scary in this dungeon. Especially, trying to dodge all those cannonballs and just get past some of the enemies here.
And especially there is a damage boost coming up in this dungeon too.
Yeah, that too.
The damage boost, if done optimally, you need 2 hearts for total. If you don't get the damage boost initially off of the first Ropa, then you need 2 full hearts of damage if you want to do it off of the anti-fairies. So yeah, having as many hearts as you can is always a good thing. And there's a bunch of heart pickups in this dungeon that are not too far out of the way. Maybe losing a few frames beyond just picking up pots or something. So we see King Hippo, first one into the room that completes the big key puzzle skip with the damage boost. It looks like iaregodzirra had a little bit of a problem with it, but he collects the hearts and manages to get the damage boost in his own way, and then Canis and Salatman are not too far behind either. From what I saw, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure everyone picked up that arrow pot on the first trip through Big Chest Room. So they're not going to be as dependent on an arrow drop in with these red Igors. There's a 12.5% chance that you won't get it. So picking up that earlier arrow pickup is a little bit out of the way by a second or so, but it basically keeps you from having to go back and pick up more arrows if you end up going into Armos with, or if you would be going into Armos with less than 18, which you need to do the fight optimally.
Looks like Canis got hit there and missed the quick kill, but cleans it up nicely. Everybody else seems to have done okay.
Absolutely. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with iaregodzirra's stream. I don't know. I'm assuming that's on his end.
Yeah, I'm having some trouble loading it.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll get itself cleared up as the rest of the runners are making their way to get the boots and hopefully take advantage of the first minor glitch in the game, which is the super speed, which you get from doing a spin dash. Along with the fact that the boots make the movement in the game a lot simpler in general. Just because there are some, basically anytime you're moving in a straight line for longer than 4 tiles of space, dashing is more optimal. Plenty of places in the game where that's done. And dashing along diagonal walls is actually very optimal too. So you'll see that runners will constantly be trying to get most of their dash off a wall if they can. In some places it's harder than others, so they might opt for just going in more of an L direction, but for the most part, optimal movement is trying to use your dash on the diagonal slopes.
Yeah, King Hippo rolling deep with some spin speeds here. I don't think he did that in the other races. That's pretty fresh. Pretty flying.
Yeah, spin speed is not a terribly difficult trick to pull off. It's more difficult if you're playing on emulator or especially with keyboard, but on controller it's not terribly hard because there are some techniques that most people use that they're comfortable with. And basically what it is you charge up your sword and then you release your sword, and exactly a frame after you release the sword you press A. This puts you in a state where you can't use your sword at all, but if you are on some manual stairs or ladders and you come off of them straight in a cardinal direction, then you'll be able to freely move dash speed, which is way faster than normal.
Looks like Canis and Salatmann are pretty much screen for screen right now. They're very close to each other.
Oh wow, absolutely. They got into that cutscene with the book less than a second apart from each other, it looks like. Desert Palace is a pretty straightforward dungeon. The runs and the races, excuse me, in general won't really heat up, so to speak, till we get to the light world where the difficulty ramps up. But there are definitely a lot of little things in these earlier dungeons where movement is key. So while Desert Palace does have a lot of long hallways, there are a few things here and there and a few enemies that can cause you some problems. So while we do have the boots at this point, there is still a lot of move tech that comes big into play here.
Looks like we just lost Zira.
Yeah, unfortunately, Godzirra seems to be having some technical difficulties as the stream goes down. But hopefully it will be able to get itself back up soon.
Oh yeah, Runner Watcher brings up a good point. I guess Canis is going to be doing the tree rupee route. And Salatmann actually grabbed the rupees in the hut earlier. So we will see a little bit of a divergence here in their runs.
True, and yeah, King Hippo also got the bombs and the rupees from the Sahasrashala's hut as well.
But really, even, like a bad Landmo fight could separate these two from the sync. I mean, it could really be anything, or even a fall to Moldorm.
And the Landmo fight coming up is definitely a difficult one, especially to be optimal at. Even the best runners of the game cannot consistently get the best possible outcome in the fight. So we'll see the strategies they use. Salatmann didn't pick up the bombs when he got the arrows, as King Hippo decided to do, so he might be using a bomb strat. But no, he switches straight to the arrows, and he's not going to be using the bomb strat. Bombs do as much damage on Landmolus as arrows do. So there is a strat where you plant them in a specific pattern right at the beginning of the fight, so you can get a couple free hits off. But if you don't know the setup, then it's not really worth going for.
Yeah, all the Landmos spawn in the same spot every time. Their movement is just different from the very first spawn anyway. It's the same every time. So usually planting the bombs can be, I think it can be pretty good for newer runners, especially if they have a lot of trouble with Landmo. It can just be a good early strat to get in some damage early on.
King Hippo actually has a pretty solid fight, even without using the bombs that he had picked up, and it looks like both Salatmann and Canis are having a little bit of trouble here. Canis seeming to be Canis is the one who comes out on top first, and Salatmann actually right behind him finishes up his last two Landmos in the same cycle. We see King Hippo going for the fake flippers. Cool little, another minor glitch that I believe is 1.0 only. And we'll see if the other runners, it looks like Canis is going for it, which I assume then, Salatmann's as well.
Just keep your fingers crossed that nobody soft locks here.
This is, I think, the only point in the game where there's a real threat of soft lock. It can happen in a couple other points, but this is the most prominent where it can happen. It looks like, all three of them have gotten through it. And, iaregodzirra's stream is back up.
Oh, perfect. So judging by Godzirra's splits, he came out of Desert just a few seconds after King Hippo did. So I'm assuming anyway, didn't have too terrible of a fight there.
Just 5 or 6 seconds behind right now. And it looks like he seems to have caught up in this overworld. He must have done the fake flippers as well. Because if he hadn't, he would have done a little bit more overworld movement that would have cost him about 6 seconds. Seeing that King Hippo had gotten through fake flippers cleanly. Oh no, King Hippo actually blocks himself with the squirrel from getting into Hera. And this is why everybody hates these ends.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things to happen. Yeah, in that kind of situation, you can either just wait for it, or you can try to despawn it by moving off the screen a little bit. Usually waiting for it is a good enough option.
Yeah, because if you do try to despawn it, you know, you have to go decently far away to the point where probably just spend as much time waiting for it to despawn as you would walking away from where you need to go anyway. It can save a little bit of time, I'm pretty sure, but most people just opt to just spam slashing at the squirrel until he comes back, to animated life.
So it doesn't look like anyone had too much trouble in Death Mountain, which is really good. You want to come into Hera with as many hearts as possible, mostly because you're going to be doing a bomb jump, and there's a few spots in this dungeon where it's easy to take damage. One being actually right before the bomb jump, which is known as the petting zoo. There's just a lot of enemies all over the place, and it can be kind of hard to dodge them at times.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, it looks like a lot of these runners have, or all 4 of these runners have slightly different strategies in the tile room. Canis is the only one that was able to hit the block. I believe he used an arrow for it. But he hits the crystal switch and is standing on the pegs when they come up, so he can just stand in one spot and not have to worry about taking damage from them, while the others actively were dodging, or I think one of them actually missed the pegs, so he had to dodge while inside of the blue pegs. Hippo gets he was down to 2 hearts before, so he must have gotten the heart drop, and he gets hit in the petting zoo, but gets that heart pickup from that pot here, so he is coming for the bomb jump now, and it looks like iaregodzirra has just successfully completed it. No issue. iaregodzirra did not hit the crystal switch for the backup hearts. He's definitely fine though. It looks like he had full hearts when going into the bomb jump, so he should not need them.
Not sure if King Hippo hit that switch or not. He may have just because he's low on hearts, but he also is probably confident in the fight. Oh, he did hit it. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh no, iaregodzirra falls on his last hit for Moldorm, so that is actually a big enough swing to, if King Hippo cleans his fight up without a problem, he will go into the lead right now. And again, it looks like, based on time, we have Canis and Salatman in almost the exact same spot coming into Moldorm.
King Hippo's having a really nice fight right now. Oh, he's taking some damage, but he's getting a lot of good hits in.
Oh, it looks like iaregodzirra actually finishes the fight up first.
Wow. Yeah, King Hippo's having a little bit of trouble with this last hit here.
Yeah, the last phase can be pretty annoying, depending on where Moldorm decides to run off to.
Yeah, and you don't want to, like, especially on the last hit, you don't want to risk falling or taking more damage, so it may have been a good idea for him to play it safe there.
And unfortunately, it looks like Salatman suffered a fall, so Kane is cleaning up the fight without a problem, is going to leave there. This fight is just a real pain. There are strategies that the top runners use to try to make it go a little safer and a little quicker at the same time, but nothing is really, you know, idiot-proof, if you will. There's always a chance of reacting in the wrong way because Moldorm's movement is so completely random and unpredictable.
Yeah, it looked like the Moldorm on Salatman's screen was just wiggling around quite a bit, which was making it difficult for him to get a hit in, and was actually I guess, kind of forcing him to hit Moldorm's body, which knocks you back a little bit. So he had a little bit of trouble there, but didn't fall off again, so that's good. Cleaned it up nicely.
Oh, and we didn't notice this before, but iaregodzirra actually also is going the Tree Rupee route. So we're gonna see both Salatman and King Hippo pick up a little bit of time since they don't have to stop at the Tree Rupees. So while both iaregodzirra and Canis were in the lead when they came out of Hera, the Tree Rupees are going to save Salatman and King Hippo a little bit of time. So this is a little bit closer than this, or was when they came out of Hera.
Alright, so we have King Hippo grabbing the magic mushroom for the fairy powder, and Godzirra skipped it. So there will be a little bit of a time difference there as well. I expect both Canis and Salatman to grab the mushroom. And it doesn't look like anybody messed up the Tree Rupee route, which is good, so they don't have to do any backups here.
Yeah, the Tree Rupee route is a little risky. Did you explain the not getting hit and killing 4 enemies?
I did
Red
not,
Rupee?
because I would probably butcher it.
Okay, so there was a tree they pulled on before they entered the woods for the Master Sword, and that gave them 4 blue rupees. If you don't take any damage and you kill 4 enemies, then the next tree that you can pull rupees out of will give you 4 red rupees, which are 20 apiece. So that's where most of the rupees are coming from that you need in the Dark World. iaregodzirra getting the prize pack manipulation in that second room in the Aghanim's Tower, and King Hippo went for it, missed it, but fortunately the blue guard did not yield a drop, so he should be able to get that fairy drop later on as well when he needs it. And Canis decides not to go for the prize pack manipulation, so one of the guards does drop from the prize pack, so he may not get that fairy that he wants later on.
He looked pretty upset for missing that key dash there.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point to explain key dashes. So when you're dashing, the game will check what pixel you're on at every frame in order to see if you should be bonked into something. So if you hit and open a locked door on a pixel before you're actually making contact with the wall, then you won't get bonked back. And since dashing is 4 pixels of movement per frame, you have to be a multiple of 4 pixels from the wall in order to unlock it without actually bonking into it. So there are certain things in rooms where we do key dashes. There's certain setups because most things in rooms are a multiple of 4 tiles from any wall. Or 4 pixels, I should say.
So we see Canis actually has a bad RNG in this Circle of Pots room. Sometimes that top guard can either walk down or he walks over to the left. If he walks down, it's a lot easier to hit the guard in the middle with the 2 pots, grab the key and get out. But if that one guard gets in your way, then you could risk hitting him with a pot, and so it's just a little bit slower when he walks over to the left.
Alright, they're coming up on Aghanim now.
Let's put some blue ball guesses in the chat.
Yeah, not much to say about this fight other than it's heavily RNG dependent. You can't hit Aghanim unless he wants you to, and after the first hit, there's a 50-50 chance that he'll let you or not let you hit him. And every time he shoots out blue balls, you lose 6 seconds. And you'll notice right now with iaregodzirra that after every 4 attacks, iaregodzirra decides to map. Maybe there's a little bit of RNG manipulation going on right there, Kappa. Not only did he map, but he scrolled through the map a little bit. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe he knows something we don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, if you get any extra lightning cycles as well, it costs 6 seconds.
Looks like both King Hippo and Godzirra having a pretty bad luck with blue balls right now. And Godzirra keeps running in and into Aghanim and hitting him, so
yeah, I don't know
be a little bit careful here.
I don't know if he's trying to eat food while speedrunning or something. It's causing his inputs to be off a little bit, but he does survive the fight, fortunately.
Yeah, that's good. And he finishes before King Hippo, so
yeah.
King Hippo's having some bad luck here, though.
Yeah, really, really bad luck. They came into the room at roughly the same time, so the fact that he's sitting through another lightning cycle right now is pretty telling. I'm gonna be honest. There are so many people there. Yeah, I'm not counting. There's so many people on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Track. So I haven't even been trying. One thing I do want to note though is Salatman ran out of arrows in one of the rooms in Aghanim's tower, and you need 6 throughout the next dungeon. And obviously, in general, it's just better to have as many arrows as you can hold. So he'll probably have to opt to pick up some sort of a backup somewhere in order to be able to complete Palace of Darkness optimally. Alright, so they're making their way over now. Everyone has the allotted amount of rupees, and it looks like everyone has enough rupees to actually recollect Kiki if they take a hit. Because what happens is you need 10 rupees to collect Kiki, and if you get hit before you actually get to the entrance of the dungeon, then he runs away. So you want to avoid that, obviously, because it loses a lot of time.
Yeah,
but
you have
since...
to... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you have to go back for Kiki and then repay him after you collect him again. So if you don't have 120 rupees at least, and that happens to you, then you have to kind of go on like a little rupee hunt. Which all the what do they call them? They're not popos, are they? Those ones?
They're called rope. A lot of people call them pobos, but I'm pretty sure they're called ropas.
Okay, well we'll call them spaghetti monsters, whatever they are. They do. They drop rupees, and I know that if you hit them with a boomerang and then kill them, they will always drop a green rupee. So if you're only a few short, that's usually a good method to go for rather than just, jinxing it. Just going for it and chancing it is what I meant to say.
Yeah, going for the gamble.
Because you could end up with no rupees from any of them, which would be not fun. Or running around forever trying to find rupees.
Yeah, that's never fun. I guess I'll bring up the prize pack manipulation we were talking about, since we're talking about, these enemies have a chance to drop rupees and whatnot. So there are 6 different prize packs in the game, and for all but one of the prize packs, there's a 50-50 chance that an enemy will drop an item from that pack, and you always get those drops in a certain order. So there's enemies in the game that have nothing to do with each other really in terms of design or what they look like, but they could be in the same prize pack. So earlier, the blue guards that we were talking about dropping hearts and fairies are also in the same prize pack as the pokies that we'll see later on in Turtle Rock. So the way they manipulated that is if you actually dash through an enemy, then there is a 0% chance that they will give you a drop. So dashing through enemies makes it so that you won't, since we know you won't run into any more enemies in that prize pack, you won't really have any chance of getting the fairy until later on in the run. I hope that made sense and I wasn't just rambling.
No, you're good.
Alright, so we got the first bomb jump attempt right now by Canis, and we didn't line it up right. I didn't see exactly what he missed, but this bomb jump is pretty tough, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he is one of the people who does it unbuffered. I don't think he knows how to do it buffered, or he's never practiced it. So he's always just done it unbuffered. Which the unbuffered hammer jump, which I'm sure lots of people have experienced at some point, can be extremely inconsistent, and it's not really a method that you want to go for when you're learning this game, just because of the inconsistency.
Yeah, the buffer strat gives you a lot of time, but if you use pauses to buffer, then you're wasting about a second or so every time you do that. While, you know, it takes a whole lot of buffers to make it a less desirable strat than, you know, going out of your way to go downstairs and collect the key. But, yeah, obviously the less buffers, the better. Everyone else cleanly through the bomb jump?
Godzirra's in really good shape right now. He's got full hearts, sword beams, and he's making his way to Helmosaur. Well, he's making his way to the turtle room first. We'll see how that goes, but
he gets that really cleanly.
Yeah, very nice. So
that's another one of those rooms that we don't really talk about too much. That turtle room. It seems really easy when a lot of people pull it off, but it's pretty precise in the way you need to move in order to get those turtles all in a specific spot where you can turn them over and kill them before they flip back over. And as you were saying, since iaregodzirra has full hearts right now, and he picked up the Sanctuary Heart, he does, since anything Helmosaur does 2 hearts of damage, he will have an extra hit since he has 7 instead of 6 hearts. He actually had a really good fight right there. That was not bad.
Yeah, it was very nice. Looks like Canis is having a bit of trouble in the turtle room. You can see there, the turtle room can go pretty bad pretty fast.
Yeah, it's really easy for it to go wrong, and if you don't react properly enough, then you could just kind of be scrambling to use your hammer and flip over turtles, and as we see Salatmann having an issue here, sometimes you'll use a hammer to flip over one turtle, but it'll unflip over another turtle, and it can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely annoying. King Hippo's doing okay here. He's cleaned it up. He did have a little bit of trouble there, but he looks like he cleaned it up pretty okay. Did get hit by one, but now he only has, I guess he can only get hit by Helmosaur twice, if I am counting right.
Yes, that is true. Man, he's having a little bit of trouble with this fight too. I think he's a little bit worried about only having those 2 hits, and Salatmann only has 2 hits to work with right now as well, but he's just going at it, and he finishes off the second phase pretty well.
Yeah, looks like we have everyone with a pretty clean Helmosaur fight.
Pretty nice. Like you said, iaregodzirra seems to be in the best spot right now. He did just suffer some damage coming out of Palace of Darkness. May not be too big of a deal. There are some safety hearts he could pick up if he opts to do that. But there are a bunch of enemies in the next dungeon. We go to the Thieves' Town next, which is a little bit of a deviation from the intended route. But there are some enemies that can do... I think all the enemies actually do 2 hearts to damage in that dungeon, so it is nice to have full health going in there.
There is a tree along the way as well that you can bonk into, and it drops apples that can refill your hearts. Sometimes people opt for that because it's an easy way to gain hearts before they go into the dungeon. I think Godzirra is going to do the 4 dig.
He has a little bit of trouble finding the flute, folks, but he gets it in the end. 4th try dig. Optimal RNG manipulation.
But he needs, for the ultimate RNG manipulation, he's going to have to throw the bird later before, right outside of Meyer. But I don't think that 4 dig actually loses any time because you have to wait for the music to stop anyway. and yeah, I don't think that doing that actually loses any time. But I'm not an expert on that. I have no idea.
I think it depends because from my experience, just from practicing and going through that room a bunch of times, it seems that it will actually cut the song short, but only at certain points in the song.
If you dig once, it'll cut the song short?
Well, at any point, you know, if you collect the flute and then all the animals scatter, once you get to that point, there are specific points in the flute song that'll get cut short and like fade out.
Okay, Canis also did a 4 dig.
Oh, nice. Everyone going for the optimal RNG manipulation 4 dig strat.
I hope that everyone's going to be throwing the bird later, too. Ooh, King Hippo actually warped back. I'm not sure. Oh, he must have not grabbed the shovel before he warped the first time.
So they've collected the flute, and now they are all going to be getting the. What is it? What is it? Do we know what kind of bird it is?
No.
Okay, so they're going to be getting some sort of winged creature to help them out with travel and stuff throughout the rest of the run. This is also part of the reason we come to Thieves Town, not only because you can get the what are they called? The golden mitts or something like that. To get the tempered sword.
Oh.
Go ahead. What happened?
We got a death from King Hippo on the overworld.
Oh no.
He got he just got wrecked by that Usain Bolt. He was yeah, that was pretty bad. He had spin speed and was going for it, but then got hit by the guard and then just never got away from him.
Oh no.
Looks like he's gonna intentionally. I think he's gonna intentionally kill himself again because he re-entered, I think, at the wrong spot.
Yeah, and unfortunately he didn't have the flute at that point, so he couldn't take advantage of that.
He does have the flute. I'm not sure why he.
Well, he doesn't have the bird. He didn't unlock the bird yet.
Oh,
is
right.
What I meant,
Yes,
is what I meant to say. So he can't use the warp from him.
Alright, so everybody else, I think, is either in Thieves Town or making their way there.
Yeah, the top race is actually still pretty close. Canis is on the first few screens, and Salatmann is just entering now. So they're not too far from each other. Unfortunately, with this King Hippo death, it's gonna open up the lead for iaregodzirra even more. But like we were saying before, the Dark World gets pretty challenging. So depending on the safeties that they decide to pick up, you know, anything can happen. And we see King Hippo actually getting the apples out of the apple tree with those blue guards.
Now, I know that he grabbed the mushroom. I'm not sure if he went to get the powder, though. He may have grabbed the mushroom by accident. I'm not sure. Maybe he's going to grab the powder later.
Who are you referring to?
Oh, sorry, King Hippo.
Oh.
You read my mind.
Well, I mean, I was talking about King Hippo, so that's fine.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure what you were saying. So, I don't know. Well, next time he pauses, I guess we'll check, but we'll probably not be looking at him next time he pauses, so that's unfortunate too.
Probably.
Commentator problems.
To be fair, we do have 4 screens to look at.
I mean,
And
cut
only
us
2
right, people.
eyes. Some of us only have 1 eye, so. Alright, so we have Godzirra in the blind fight right now.
Sick
this
blind
should
fight.
go very easily for him.
This fight's really fun if you know what you're doing. Ooh, he has a little bit of trouble. So the head's gonna go in all sorts of different directions that he's probably not expecting, unless he messes his fight up a lot. He does take some hits, so I'm assuming he's not really that used to it, but he cleans it up pretty well. The way the blind fight scripted is actually this. It happens the same way every time, as long as you kill each phase or each cycle at a certain point. So the only problem with that is any slight deviation from that can cause the fight to go in a direction that you can't really anticipate if you haven't practiced messing up the fight. So you'll see a lot of these runners starting the fight off the same way, and you know, like I said, as long as they do what they've practiced and what they're used to, then it shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Yeah, I think you can see here too just how challenging the Dark World can be already, and it's only just begun. Everybody came out of Palace of Darkness at roughly the same time, and now there's just a big disparity between iaregodzirra and everybody else now.
Right. And I haven't been for people's pause menus, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Whoops.
It's just one of those things, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, iaregodzirra doesn't have powder. I know that now. I just saw it.
I don't think he grabs it ever, and I didn't see him grab the mushroom, so I knew he wasn't going for it. Everybody else should have it. Or
King Hippo should be
at least the
pausing
mushroom.
really soon. He just paused. He has the mushroom. He doesn't have the powder. Okay.
Canis is having, well, maybe not that much trouble. He just got hit once, I think, by blind.
Yeah, he's
Besides
got one
going-
more
oh.
hit. Nice.
Oh, and another. What occurs?
Salatman is in this fight now, and ooh, okay. The first phase. Oh, first phase actually does get away from him a little bit. I mean the second phase. One more hit. Yeah, there he goes. Okay. So the blind fight going a little off script for all the runners, but they're able to finish it without suffering a death, which can be pretty costly. Because I mean, come on, who wants to refight blind when he's at the top of the room? You're at the bottom.
Did you check King Hippo's menu?
Yeah, King Hippo. He has the mushroom. He hasn't traded it for yet.
Okay. So we have Godzirra getting the Tempered Sword now, and then he will make his way to Thieves Town, or Skullwoods. He was just in Thieves Town.
Yes, he picks up a brand new shiny red sword, blacksmith, and he saved his life. Ooh, or whose life he saved. Just for a measly 10 rupees. Link was kind enough to save his life, so just, you know, throw me a 10 spot, we're good. And
Yeah.
King Hippo.
Having
Okay,
a bit of
gets it.
trouble here. Ooh, yeah. That was really close. I mean, having blind go down to the bottom and then only being half a heart is a pretty scary position to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to the bottom and having to chase him down there is always pretty nerve-wracking. Pause menus, here we go. Alright, powder for Canis. I think you said that before, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Slapman and Canis are both gonna have powder.
Nobody got bottles and nets, though. I don't.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I didn't think to look for.
Yeah, Salatman has powder, but no bottle net.
Wow.
I don't think
that's
anyone
good.
got bottle and net.
I don't think so either.
Another bomb jump coming up from iaregodzirra. He is doing the setup, which I would expect most of them to do because it's not really worth it to do the early bomb jump in this case, even though there are some people that like to do it anyway. It is
For the
worth it if you
side
pull it off the first time, but it is really easy to mess up, so that's why a lot of people think it's... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, I just said it's for swag points.
Oh, absolutely. Unless you're about to either die or run out of bombs, then you should probably go for the setup. Shoutouts to RP Godfather.
Yep, do proper setups for the bomb jump and don't go for fence dashes. And get the sand cart.
Alright, Kane is entering Skullwoods, and it looks like Salatman's just a couple screens behind him as well, so... These two have been consistently, you know, getting a little closer, getting a little further, but it seems like they're keeping that few screens of separation on average. Oh, if anyone was watching Canis, you'll notice that he went to slash at the mummy, but there's a weird interaction with the mummies and that statue that if you try to slash them when they're in the vicinity or touching it, or I don't know exactly what causes it, but the slash actually won't cause any knockback. So he suffered some damage there, which is unfortunate. Pretty solid moth fight from iaregodzirra as well. Moth fight really stinks because, you know, with a tempered sword, you do a lot more damage than you normally would. Since in a casual playthrough or, you know, the more scripted playthrough, you wouldn't have the tempered sword at this point. You would have the master sword. But what makes the moth fight really annoying is that if you hit him back into any of the spikes that are along the walls, the spike damage will override the sword damage, and any of the spikes in the room do 0 damage. So instead of doing, you know, whatever X amount the tempered sword does, they'll actually do 0 damage.
So we will have Godzirra's making his way to Ice Palace. He's gonna stop off first for Medallion and the Flippers. Then everybody else is gonna be fighting Mothula in a little bit here.
Yeah, the other thing about the moth fight is that the quick kill is optimal for 2 reasons. Obviously, you want to kill him as quickly as possible in a speed run, but the longer the fight goes on for, the more out of hand it can get. And oh no, Salatman suffers a death.
Ooh,
And
not
I
good.
believe it was to one of the mummies. Yeah, he has trouble in the mummy hallway. I'm watching the restream right now.
Canis
so yeah,
got, he
Go
just
ahead,
got
go
a
ahead.
full magic refill right before the boss. So that's gonna help him out with getting Mothula away from the spikes, because he'll be able to hit him with the fire rod to do that.
Oh no, Salatman actually has some magic problems, so he's gonna have to go for the torch in the mummy hallway. But yeah, that's a good point that you brought up. Whenever you use the fire rod on Moth, it will disrupt, you know, whatever attack phase he's in, and will generally coax him away from the top spikes, which he loves to just hang out around. So Canis just finished up the fight while Salatman is entering the fight right now with full hearts. It's really actually pretty strange to be coming into this fight with full hearts. Sword beams can kind of make it a little tricky, I believe, since sword beams don't do as much damage as a full slash, but Salatman scrambles and gets the fight done.
King Hippo had a lot of trouble on his way there. He just kind of got cornered by all the enemies when in the mummy key room. So he's down to 2 hearts now. But wow,
He
very
actually
nice
has
fight.
a really good fight without getting the double hit in with the bonk, so that was really good. I don't think anyone went for the double hit of these runners. So yeah, there's a strat you can do on Moth where if you dash at a precise time at the beginning of the fight, you can actually sandwich him against the top block and get 2 hits off on him instantly. So that helps the fight go a little quickly, but it is highly execution based. So some runners will opt to just try to react to Moth's movement at the beginning of the fight.
Alright, so Godzirra is in the Ice Palace now. Pretty interesting dungeon. Not one that you want to die in, so you want to be mindful of your health here. Also, you have to be mindful of your magic because you need a full magic meter in order to break the ice that is around Cold Stare, the boss. I think everyone else is just gonna go get the medallion and flippers right now. Looks like.
I am gonna correct you only because I think it's really interesting that you don't need technically to have full magic if you have sword beams going into the fight, because there's a cool glitch you can do, the sword beams and the timing of the fire rod that causes fire to actually count for double. I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with hitting the ice with the fire and the sword beam at the same time. So the game will actually count the damage double. But I don't think any of these runners know that, and if they do know it, they haven't practiced it. So I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not something to rely on, but if you're ever in that position, it's definitely a good thing to know that is an option, so you don't have to mirror out and redo the dungeon or anything like that.
Yeah, especially because there's an anti-fairy in a room pretty close to the cold stair fight. So it's not too far out of the way if you have powder to get a health refill if you know you're going to be short on magic.
Alright, so Godzirra is going to be coming up to the cold stair fight in just a minute here. There are a couple little magic refills right before the boss, so he will be in good shape as far as magic goes. We'll see what kind of strategy he uses to fight the boss. Most people, I think, when they're fighting cold stair, will go for the spin slash and then I think it's 6 slashes in the corner. There is also another strat. But we'll see. Yeah, he just goes for the 6 slash strat here. Get away from him just a little bit. Takes a little bit of damage there, but makes it through just fine. Canis is having a little bit of trouble here in this bomb room. Took a little bit of damage there, but he's good.
Oh, Canis, I'm noticing. I don't know if you mentioned this, but he's getting pretty low on hearts right now.
Yeah, he was just actually just got finished saying that he was in that last room. I think that he didn't throw the bomb far enough, and it.
Oh, with the jellies.
And then the jellies electrified as soon as he hit them. So, just a lot of bad luck for him.
I just had to leave for a quick second. Somebody needed me to do something for them, so I did not hear you say that. So I apologize for saying it twice.
No problem.
Alright, so iaregodzirra has a pretty solid cold stair fight.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. He went for the 6 slash. They got away from him just a little bit, but it took a little bit of damage too, but he was fine.
Cold stair tends to get away from people too. Yeah. Any of the strats, it's really easy to do something slightly wrong and have him just kind of go all over the place. So, Canis is about to get to the boss as Salatmann is doing the Ice Palace bomb jump. The Ice Palace bomb jump is pretty precise, but there's a few pixels in both planting the bomb and where you can stand, I believe, to get yourself over that hole. So it's not as stressful as the Palace of Darkness bomb jump. Ooh, King Hippo wasn't able to align himself on the proper pixel in relation to the bomb the first time, so yeah, he gets it the second try, fortunately.
Yeah, so Canis here having a little bit of trouble. Cold Stair gets away from him too. But looks like
he's down to 4 hearts right now, and the eyes do 4 hearts of damage, so he's got to be careful. Oh, down to 1 heart, 1 eye though, so God. Nice. Yeah, that fight can be really stressful. Yeah, especially because, like I said, I think those are the first time any enemy in the game does 4 full hearts of damage to you, so that's one reason that fight can be really stressful. The game, I guess, anticipates you getting the blue mail in this dungeon, but since we do that bomb jump, it completely skips having to get the big key, so you actually can't get the blue mail since you don't have the big key either.
Ooh, Slapman makes that with just 1 heart left. That was really close.
Wow, yeah.
See how King Hippo fares here.
I think King Hippo actually intentionally just took damage because he didn't want to have sword beams. Maybe it'll mess up his setup or something. Or maybe if he's going for the 6-slash strategy, that could interfere with that as well. Yeah, he is going for 6 slashes.
And once again, Cold Stare gets away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's a few strats that are very, very quick. You basically lock him up in that top right corner, which is what most of the runners tried to do. And I think they all went for 6 slash.
Yeah, they all did.
But it's any deviation from that movement result in them just fanning out and going in all different directions.
So I think we're gonna see the Tempered Sword route from everybody here. Looks like it, judging by where they are. So we won't see any deviation of route here. We shouldn't, at least. Unfortunately, Swamp House is not one of the more exciting dungeons. It's just a lot of moving around, swimming around, grabbing keys, opening doors, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, pretty boring. But it is kind of tricky at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of the harder dungeons to optimize, from what I'm told. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's mainly just because there's a lot of enemies in every single room, and obviously every enemy is pretty much their movement's based on RNG, so there's a lot of reacting, and getting hit here and there can cost you, you know, a second every time, and then it just adds up over and over. Looks like King Hippo is opting to get the Ether Medallion before Swamp, which is something some runners do. Alright, Ether Medallion for Swamp. I'm not trying to start fights here, alright? So I'll go along with it for now. But yes, a lot of runners opt to do that because it's desirable to go into Misery Mire, which is the dungeon after Swamp, with full hearts. So they'll do a lot of this extra overworld movement. So they'll have
going back to desert. Oh, I think he realized. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I think he just mapped to the wrong spot. And what's he doing?
I have no. I don't know. I think I don't know what happened there. He just yeah, he just started going towards desert. But he's got to warp here first.
Oh yeah, because he didn't have the. I just saw him in that room. I didn't. Like I said, I think he warped to the wrong spot and then just didn't go to the dark world.
I think that he was fine because he did actually run down from Link's house. From what I saw, anyway. Unless I.
Oh, I saw him going to. Oh, I guess he got confused maybe as to where he was going.
I don't know. Sometimes that happens to me in a run because it's just, you know, you go that exact same way to desert and sometimes you can just forget, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of revisits to different places, especially when you use the flute. So I've seen people go up to Death Mountain and just go the complete wrong way.
Yeah.
And that's another place. What just happened to King Hippo? So
But he's in the right place now, so he's good.
yeah, he's rolling along. So Canis and Salatman still really close. Canis just picking up the hookshot now, and Salatman just got the big key, and he'll be going to the hookshot room momentarily. iaregodzirra with a pretty solid lead at this point. He's going to be collecting up ether, sorry, and I'm assuming he's going to be collecting the ice rod as well before he goes to Mire. So, looking at iaregodzirra, he did suffer a heart going through Death Mountain, and this is what I was saying about King Hippo opting to collect ether previously, is that he won't have to worry about the overworld movement, so he will have full hearts going into Mire. Most likely, there's still a small chance that he'll take damage from something if he hasn't gotten the ice rod yet, and he decides to do that then. Alright, so Canis just finishes up Argus as Salatman is entering the fight. Salatman getting the early 1 cycle out of Argus. It's possible to 0 cycle Argus. I don't think any of these runners are going for it. But it takes some pretty precise inputs and an item dash as well to pull that off. So they're both talking to the main right now, so still a pretty close race right there. And we see iaregodzirra coming up on...
He waited, so he's gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
And he picks up that bird, chucks it on in there.
Yeah, that's right. Show that bird who's boss.
Another little bit of RNG manipulation there.
Yeah.
Kappa.
Alright, so Canis making his way up Death Mountain now, and Salatman will follow shortly behind him here.
Yeah, and it's later in the run, but Death Mountain is still really annoying.
Always annoying. I think it gets worse when it's when you have to go to Turtle Rock, just because there's all those squirrels there, and the boulders coming down.
Oh my gosh, Canis.
Oh no.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. That is actually really unlikely. Oh
wow.
no.
Oh, look
This
at
squirrel
this thing.
is... I think the fastest way to deal with this right now is to actually damage boost once he's not a rock anymore through him. But I don't know if he knows that, number one, and I don't know if he actually wants to worry about taking the damage. Oh yeah, there he goes. He's got it now.
He's just yelling at that thing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that's so frustrating. That doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's just it's one of the reasons of many that people get really frustrated at this game.
Oh yeah. I bet that he wishes he could pick up that squirrel and chuck it over the side of the bridge.
We'll see if he takes it out on the bird later.
Yeah, little squirrel toss. So King Hippo finishes up the Argus fight with only 2 hearts left. Does pretty well though.
Yeah, it looked like, and that was what we were saying before, is that dungeon, you know, since you have so many hearts, you're probably not going to die, but the fact that he had so few hearts just shows that he was just having a lot of trouble with the way some of the enemies were moving. So he probably lost a little bit of time on his splits there, unfortunately.
And unfortunately now Canis is just a little bit behind Salatman.
Yeah, because... Oh, we got Salatman picking up the bird.
Oh, toss that bird. Is Canis gonna do it?
And we'll see.
He did the 4 dig, so maybe he's gonna totally
Oh,
meme it out
no.
here.
He forgoes the bird toss.
Awful. At least he 4 dig.
He did the 4
Four
dig, yeah. Four dig dug, something like that.
Yeah. 1 out of 2 memes isn't bad.
And I wanted to make note of iaregodzirra. He's getting kind of low here with 6.5 hearts. And there's a damage boost that a lot of runners decide to use in the Vitreous fight. So it's going to be cutting it pretty close for him, depending on how well he's able to pull that off right here. Plants his last bomb, auto cycles the menu to the fire rod, and he's going to use the arrows anyway because he doesn't have enough magic to fire rod the crystal switch, unfortunately, so he's not able to make use of that little manipulation there of the menu. Alright, Windows 10 relax. Just got a pop up from Windows 10. Just covered my entire screen. Okay, we're good.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Windows.
Oh, we're doing some fire rod through some block manipulation that you just saw Salatman and Canis pull off. When those blocks are moving, you can shoot any projectile item that you have, which includes the fire rod and the hook shot, which are the 2 items we use in this run for it. You can actually shoot them through those blocks before they stop moving. But once the block stops moving, you can't shoot through it anymore, so you have to be precise about it. And they use that strat to light those torches quickly.
And we got a bird toss from King Hippo. 3 out of 4 bird tosses.
iaregodzirra did get low, but down to 1.5 hearts during that fight. But he was able to clean it up. I'm pretty sure since he had 6.5 hearts, he used the 5 heart damage boost strat, which is pretty optimal. I didn't quite see if he got the all the eyes dead before the lightning cycle though, which would have been the fastest way to complete that boss if he had gotten that. And Canis is a room behind Salatman right now, but he has way more hearts than Salatman right now. But the powder's going to remedy that situation for him.
Godzirra is making his way to Turtle Rock now. Looks like his climb up Death Mountain there was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a shorter climb, but it can still be pretty deathly just because I think we had said before there's the all the squirrels there and they can get in your way, and if they get in your way then the boulders come down and they can hit you, and it can be messy sometimes, but you made it through just fine.
Especially going through what some people call the Waffle House, which is just a group of stones at one point on Death Mountain. There's boulders coming down and there's a couple squirrels in that screen, so It can be really frustrating, really easy to take damage if you can't anticipate the RNG properly. Man, Canis and Salatman are getting really close now.
Oh yeah, they're like same screen.
No, Canis has to chase around this anti-fairy a little bit, unfortunately.
Oh, now he's gonna end a little bit. Oh, no, he's good. I thought he was gonna get hit by that fire snake.
Fortunately, he's good. You do have to watch out when you do the damage boost in this fight, though, because if you do it improperly, see what they do is they hit the little goo that does damage to Link instead of hitting the eyes. That only does 1 heart of damage. The eyes do 4. So if you have any sort of issue doing that properly, you can take a lot of damage very quickly. So you do have to be careful doing that.
Wow, so they both finished the fight pretty close to each other.
Yeah, it's still very, very close race there.
Yeah.
iaregodzirra getting through Turtle Rock, having a pretty solid time so far. He did get the fairy manipulation, and I didn't see him get a fairy drop from any enemies in the prize pack anywhere else, so pretty sure he'll be getting it in one of these upcoming rooms from any of these pokies that he has to kill. It's more important for him because, yeah, there he goes, he gets it from that pokey. It's more important for him because he is the only runner that doesn't have the powder. So there's a plethora of fairies in most of these Dark World dungeons, especially the later ones. So that fairy drop's not as important since you can kind of just pick and choose where you want to get a fairy if you have powder.
Very nice chomps room from him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Really neat damage boost strat there, hitting the crystal while standing on the pegs. Doing that, you're still able to move the block to spawn the chest, but you do have the iframes coming off those pegs, so you don't have to worry about the chomps for about a second or two. Really, really helpful strat.
Canis almost had some trouble again with the squirrels on Death Mountain, but thankfully he hit one of them high enough that he was able to get around it.
Yeah, and that Waffle House that I was mentioning before is a place where if you do rock a squirrel, you can kind of block yourself in certain ways that you have to go way out of your way. And we see Salatman actually blocked himself going to the entrance to Turtle Rock screen, so he did what you said before, and he dashed away really quickly just to despawn the squirrels.
It's just insane how quickly these two can catch up or pass one another.
Yeah.
So I mean, just like a little bit of bad luck with the squirrels, and Canis is in the lead again.
Yep. That's just the nature of this game. Right, and it looks like we have King Hippo not too far behind right now, making his way up to Turtle Rock. Nice, he gets through that Waffle House screen without taking damage. The reason it is nice to get that fairy drop, or have powder in Turtle Rock, is because there's several rooms, the dungeon, that sword beams can come in handy and speed up just a little bit for optimization purposes. And not only that, but all the enemies do a ton of damage, so it's nice to be at full health whenever you can be. Both Canis and Salatman decide to mirror back to the beginning of the dungeon. It's a strat that we've seen a bunch of times in the tournament, depending on how much health people have. Instead of trying to damage boost through that roller room, they'll just mirror out and not have to worry about taking damage. It doesn't lose too much time either. iaregodzirra successfully got the laser skip in a previous room, but fell down the hole to get back to the beginning of the room, which is slightly slower than dashing out because you get the screen scrolls up a little bit faster from dashing than it does from suffering a fall and resetting the camera to Link's position. He's doing the forward strat, or the front strat, excuse me, on Trinex right now.
We had a death from Salatman in the chain chomp room. Thankfully,
no.
it doesn't leave him too far behind, though. The entrance to the dungeon is pretty close to that room, but still not a death that you want to have, especially in a race. Gainus did a good job there of avoiding that bunny beam.
Alright, so we got iaregodzirra finishing up the Trinex fight very nicely. There is a chance of running out of magic in that, which can be very, very costly, so it's a good thing he avoided that.
Nice chomp room from King Hippo as well. Kane is having a little bit of trouble here with this pokey, but gets it. Took a little bit of damage. Oh, but he powdered the bunny beam there under the pot.
Oh, that's the other thing that we didn't really mention. Not just on top of anti-fairies, you can also powder the little bunny beams as long as they're not moving, and if there's one under a pot, you can actually powder it without picking up the pot. You can get the fairy as well. So just another one of those things, like I said before, where you can pick and choose where you can grab a fairy from. Alright, we got iaregodzirra heading into Ganon's tower right now. Arguably the most difficult point in the game, especially in terms of speedrunning and trying to get through quickly without losing too much time.
It's definitely one of the more interesting parts of the run, I think, and one of the more fun parts, I think, to run anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it because it's pretty difficult, but the cool thing about it is that it's kind of a recap of the whole game thus far, and you get to use a lot of different items and a lot of different strategies in all the rooms.
So poetic.
So poetic.
So Canis is going to be coming up to the Trinex fight shortly here. I'm not sure what strategy he uses. I'm assuming he's going to go front door, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm assuming all these runners are going to go front strat. The back strat is a little bit faster, but if you mess it up and get stuck behind him, it's really easy to, get ice down on the floor and pretty hard to react to the way the heads just kind of quickly bob and weave back and forth. So you don't want to have to really worry about missing, any fire or ice rod shots. Canis is getting low on magic. Okay, he gets it.
Wow, yeah, King Hippo has caught up to Salatman now. They are pretty much in the same part of the dungeon here.
Yeah, they're both coming into the same screen right now.
Even though they're not actually racing, but well, they are, but they're not for tournament purposes, but
it's always interesting to note. Leads change or go back and forth between any of them. Oh, uh-oh. Looks like iaregodzirra having a little bit of trouble on Ice Armos, and he's only got 6 arrows left.
oh no.
It's not as big of a deal because you have the Tempered Sword. You can kill him off a lot more quickly than if you had messed the fight up in Eastern Palace at the beginning of the game.
Makes it out with 1 arrow to spare.
We got an ice floor down here for Salatman. Makes it a lot trickier to try to get damage onto the ice head, but gets pretty low on magic, but he manages to take care of that too. And King Hippo pulls ahead of Salatman just by a small margin here as he finishes up the try next fight.
Fun fact, if there's ice on the floor during the Trinex fight, you can actually walk along the very bottom and it is not icy down there apparently, so you can just walk through normally without sliding.
Yeah, which can be pretty convenient, especially when setting up for the last phase of the fight.
And King Hippo actually finishes Turbo Rock before Salatman, even though he went in after Salatman.
Yeah, the death from Salatman made him lose a little bit of time. It's interesting to note, though, how where you suffer a death in any dungeon determines how much time you lose, because since he died fairly early on in the Chomps room, he only had to traverse a couple screens to get back to where he was, but if you had ran out of magic or died any later on in the dungeon, it's much more of a time loss. So not all deaths are equal.
Godzirra is having a little bit of trouble with that last Stelthos there. It's kind of the annoying thing about Gauntlet is some of the enemies can just kind of get away from you, and there's just so much going on in the room that it's hard to get through without taking damage. Well, it can be hard to get through without taking damage.
The Gauntlet really stinks because you have to kill every enemy in the room in order to progress, or go back. Reason, but in terms of speedrunning, it's really frustrating, especially because there's just the combination of conveyor belts and the BMOS and the way the enemies just randomly move around make it pretty annoying to deal with.
Ooh, having a little bit of trouble on the Landmo 2 here. Takes some damage. Looks like he's probably going to get an early 3 cycle.
Man, that beam in the corner is really giving him some problems. He gets low. He's down to 2.5 hearts, and he doesn't have powders, so that's something that definitely could affect him later on. Because there are not a lot of places to refill your hearts at this point. There's a couple hearts here and there, getting through the rest of Ganon's tower. But going into the Ganon fight, it could be pretty iffy. What's up?
Did he already pass that ferry room where you have to bomb the wall to get into it?
Yeah, that's the room before heading into the Gauntlet.
Right, okay.
Canis on Isarmos now. Hopefully he'll be able to get this quick kill here, and you'll see he's positioning himself at the top of the room. Unlike the first fight, you don't have to exit the room. So you can use any number of strats to kill that boss, but that one, we like to use that strat because it positions you right next to the door so you can get out quickly. And it looks like he's going to go over and collect the red mail, just for a little bit extra precaution going through Ganon's tower and for the Ganon fight.
It's really not a bad idea, especially in a race. And I don't know how new he is to the Tempered Sword fight, but you do have to get pretty close to Ganon, so it's not a bad idea to grab red mail, because you don't want to be fighting Ganon for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot in the tournament that suffering one death at Ganon can really snowball out of control, can kind of mess with your mentality, and it can lead to more deaths and more falls. Not that it happens to everyone, obviously. But it is nice to just have that little bit of cushion and know, I could take a couple extra hits here and there in the fight. For that. So, King Hippo got through Isarmos. He's coming into Mimics as Salatman is going through Isarmos now.
You can see the red mail definitely doing its job on Canis' screen there.
Yeah, the Mimics gave him a little bit of trouble.
And Godzirra is on Aghanim 2. This is a fight where you need to be good at geometry, because it's pretty much all like triangles and, trying to get as many hits in as possible. 3 is the maximum, obviously, but he does pretty good there.
Yeah. Like you said, maximum 3. The real Aghanim can throw out blue balls just like the original fights too, so you can get trolled a little bit there as well. But yeah, he has a pretty clean fight there, and he's coming into the Ganon fight with 6 hearts. So a direct hit from Ganon, since he didn't pick up the red mail, will be a death for him, since he doesn't have any fairies, or, well, he doesn't have powder, obviously, so he doesn't have bottles or anything. Nice trident spin there. That's a cool strat that we don't really talk about. You charge up your sword as Ganon's about to throw his trident, and then you actually sword spin Ganon, and then the momentum from that bounces you off the trident he just threw, and sends you back towards Ganon, so you can get 2 spins off of him right there. It's really cool strat.
He took some damage from a fire bat, so he's down to 2 hearts now. So he's going to have to be a little bit careful for the rest of the fight here.
Yeah, fortunately, unfortunately, I should say first, is in the next phase, the 4th and final phase of the Ganon fight, Ganon will be throwing out bats that do 2 hearts of damage, so those will kill him, but at the same time, he is in the 3rd and now the 4th phase, which is a lot less tricky to deal with in terms of dodging the bats, so we'll just have to see how he fares here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that the last phase of Ganon is almost like a vacation from the first couple phases. I find that the first 2 phases can be a lot more damage-inducing and a lot more stressful than the last phase. So King Hippo was a little bit low on magic there, so he used he was falling off the edge a lot just so that he could utilize less magic and still make it to all the lamps at the same on time. Sorry.
Right. Ooh, Canis gets the Helmasaur key and gets the fairy drop there. That's pretty awesome.
Very
Luck
nice,
right there.
yeah. Oh, this is the
Having
bomb,
trouble with the bomb,
Twice.
the wall bomb.
Oh, and Zero finishes up with a 130-140. Very nice.
Awesome. So congrats to him. Pretty solid run. Just under 2 minutes off of his PB, and for a race, that's definitely respectable.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because he just got that sub 130 not too long ago. So
yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah. According to speedrun.com, it was a week ago. So pretty recent sub 130 for him.
We're gonna get him in here for post-race interview in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Alright, so it looks like Canis suffered a fall at Moldorm 2, which is going to help Salatman catch up a little bit, and King Hippo actually has pulled ahead of both of them.
Oh wow, yeah.
So he had a really, really good Ganon's Tower.
He's down to 1.5 hearts on Aghanim 2 here. He shouldn't have any problems, but...
Was down to a half heart.
Oh my goodness. This is making me nervous. No!
Oh no, he falls. I jinxed him. I'm so sorry. The commentator's curse.
What did you do?
I secured the victory for you, man. That's what I did.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, I'm just kidding.
Without you.
So hey, how's it going, iaregodzirra?
I mean, a little salty at some stuff. The Dark World was kind of alright. It's a lot of mistakes. Small mistakes, obviously.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the game.
We're actually just saying that we thought you had a pretty solid run. I mean, considering you just got your sub 130 not that long ago, and you pulled out a 131, that's pretty good.
Like, when I don't mess up, I'm usually around that time. But, like, obviously this run has been a little worse for the wear, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to Desert because my stream went down. And I was like, I wasn't really trying to fix it, but I was just watching the bit rate or whatever for the whole time, and I'm like, oh, I'm at the boss now, okay. So, like, I lost 18 minutes, I don't know really where. I think I bonked, I can't really remember. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, though. I wasn't even watching the stream, so maybe that's what helped me a bit to focus and all that, so...
Yeah, right, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you didn't suffer any deaths throughout the run.
No.
Yeah.
Just a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah. But hey, a deathless run in a race is definitely something to be happy with.
Yeah, and I don't know. Did King Hippo go for powder? I know he said he was going to, but
The last time I checked, he had the mushroom, but he didn't have the powder. He hadn't exchanged it for the powder. So I think
it's like my strats against Ben when I raced against him.
Yeah. So
And for
let's
the longest time too, I kept on the power. I kept the mushroom just for the menu slot. Now I'm getting used to the without mushroom menu, and so.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things there is you need, only 2 inputs instead of 3 or something in certain places, so it can throw you off.
Yeah, good job on the 4 dig and the bird toss though.
Yeah, and I got the fence dash, which I was like super happy about.
You really memed it out today.
Yeah. I was like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it. I told myself I was gonna do it, and I'm like, screw it, I'll try it.
Seemed to work out for you. The optimal RNG manipulation there really worked out for you.
Well, like
later on in the run.
Well, RPG told me how to do it properly, so shoutouts to him, I guess.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut this off for a quick second because both of these runners are in the 4th phase. I'm not sure how far either of them are. They both got torch glitch. So this race is really coming down to the wire right now between Canis and Salatman. Like I said, I'm not sure how many hits either one of them has. So once we see Ganon exploding, we'll know who our winner is.
Yeah.
I think that Canis has more hits, but
both not really. Neither of them has a threat of dying because they have a decent amount of hearts right now. So, oh man, this is close.
This is very
Kate is getting really low on magic as well. He probably will have to switch to the lantern. I hope he doesn't run out of magic here. Wow, this is so close. Oh man, I think the nerve's getting to each them a little bit. They're each missing some spins here and there. I've seen Ganon turn blue a couple of times.
Oh,
it looks like Salatman gets the final hit off.
Wow.
Wow, that was so close.
Wow, that was within a few seconds.
Yeah. A really, really fitting end to that race. They were just both going back and forth with the lead several times throughout the run. And
wow.
Salatman actually finished with 2 gold splits. So, wow. We finished with, only 6 seconds between these runners over, a run that takes more than an hour and a half to finish. So that was really, really something.
That was really, really close. Very good runs from both of them, though.
As I say, I was gonna watch the restream, but I'm curious how close our race was between me and King Hippo for the majority. If it was at all. I wasn't watching, so I don't know.
It was pretty close, but he suffered a death early in the Dark World.
Oh, that's...
So since you were deathless throughout, then you kept the lead from there.
Yeah.
But up to that point, it was very close.
I think the funny thing too is I was getting bodied in like every dungeon I went through, but in Turtle Rock, I intentionally went on my way to get hearts just so I can do the laser skip without worrying about it or without worrying about dying.
Yeah.
So like I was just kind of making sure I could do my fast strats without any kind of backlash, I guess you could say. All right.
Greetings. Wow. GG.
Congrats, Salatman.
Wow.
That was a close race. That has to be the closest race in the tournament so far.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, that came down to the wire, man. That was a really good comeback by you having 2 gold splits at the end.
Yeah, that helped me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That really sealed the deal there. Wow. I guess that was an okay race. Shoutouts to their Sunrise. And pretty much shoutouts to Timon, who made the Ganon tutorial, which helped me to gold Ganon again here.
Yeah, definitely shoutouts to Timon for that Ganon tutorial he made. I think it was just yesterday or 2 days ago that he made it.
Yeah, it's very recent so far.
Yeah, and it's really helpful. It's a resource that a lot of people have been missing.
Yeah, nice job. Very good run. I mean, you're only 18 seconds off of your PB, which is pretty awesome, especially for a race. It looked like you were on pace for a good amount of time there.
I'm actually totally satisfied that I've won by that close margin there. But the run itself wasn't so satisfying for me because my sum of best is actually mid 131 right now, and I'm overdue to PB right now. And I was really messing up a lot of things, dying to change compass, losing a minute, having a bad time in Mummy Hellway and Skullwoods. All that stuff happened. But still, only thing that counts is that I've won the race now, and I'm very glad about it.
Yeah, and a close race it was. I think we have Canis and King Hippo in here now.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Hey, King Hippo.
Can you guys hear me correctly?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Correctly?
I feel like I'm having a little trouble hearing Canis properly. Your voice is coming through, but there's a little bit of background noise.
I think that might have been King Hippo.
Hello?
Oh, was that King Hippo?
Well, GG, man. That was a close race, dude. You
GG.
clearly did your homework and improved a lot through this tournament, so well deserved.
Yeah, you
Wow.
guys should really watch that race back because you were back and forth quite a bit.
I was
and,
watching the whole time. I knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I think
Definitely.
you guys were like, what, 6 seconds apart from each other by the end, so
Yep.
very close.
Yeah, really, really awesome race.
Alright, let's try again. Hello?
Hello.
King Hippo.
Is it better now?
There you go.
Yeah,
now
I can
hear
hear you
you.
better now.
Perfect.
So,
So,
sorry
Congrats
that
to
your run didn't go so well.
Godzirra. Good job.
Thanks, dude.
Congrats.
I look forward to watching the restream. I mean, I wish you didn't suffer death anywhere, but
Yeah, well, the all of the mistakes was from new strats basically. I died to the. It's funny because I've been like, you could play this game for years and die in ridiculous matters in seconds in weird spots, and I died to the Usain Bolt. That's his name, right? I tried to spin dash, but I got hit, and I tried to kill him, but my sword wasn't out because I was in spin dash mode. So I tried to kill him and just lose all my hearts and died there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about Spin Dash, that you could get it hit out of it, and then you're trying to. Unfortunately, you can't use your sword, so you have to either tap A out of it or find some other way of dealing with whatever's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And
It was really thrilling in the end. I was having a look at the live split race channel, and I was actually aware of Canis not finishing, sorry, and that was really thrilling me up. It was so my heart was beating like 200 times per minute. What was actually very exciting for me.
yeah, it was exciting for all of us to watch too. That was really, really cool stuff. So, let's talk about the bracket. So we have Salatman moving on, is going to be facing Revolver. Do you have any feelings going into that matchup, Revolver? I mean,
Well,
Salatman?
he's getting some D-rust right now because he hasn't run for a long time right before the race, so his times were a little bit off. But now he's getting there. He's actually improving by a minute and a half every race, so it will be a very hard race for me. I don't think I can win this, maybe with some improvement, but he has to make mistakes to give me a chance there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true in a lot of senses, but you've also been improving very rapidly too. So I think, even with the high separation of your seed times, your improvement over the last couple of weeks should make that a really interesting race. So we also have iaregodzirra, who's going to be facing off against Joe D'Amelio. With a lot of his interesting strats and pause buffers. How do you feel about that race coming up?
I mean, I feel like I could potentially. It's the same with the Ben, I think, where it's like he needs to make mistakes and I need to have good run, kind of thing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not super confident about it, but
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually say the same thing I said about Salatmann just now. Is your improvement over the last couple weeks makes that a lot more intriguing race. And I think both of your seeds would have actually been bumped up if we had actually reseeded since you guys PB'd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
So-
if how much it would change anything, but it's only like, I think, a few seeds for me or something.
Yeah, so I think everyone's looking forward to that. Not just that race, but also Salatmann Revolver and all the other races we have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to
And
note
just-
as well that on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, they're going to be starting the Super Metroid Tournament. So if you're interested in that at all, make sure you check it out.
Yeah, that's going to be on Speed Gaming as well, on the same channel. So if you're interested in Super Metroid, then, as I know a lot of A Link to the Past fans are, then definitely tune into that. So,
Yeah, go.
no, you go ahead.
Well, it might take a while because like I'm an old player and I came back from my retirement only for this tournament. And actually, I found this tournament like a week before the tournament started, and I was kind of worried to enter the tournament because I was retired and didn't want to put the stress again of playing this game again, because we all know this game is pretty stressful and can be pretty brutal at times. And this
Absolutely.
tournament was a blast. Like really, just like it's so fun.
Yeah,
It was
we're all
stressful,
really
it's
happy that
fun.
you joined, especially showing us those older strats that you came in with that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like back in I started playing this game in 2011, and all the runs that we had to watch and actually learn the strats was MCR, Crystal, and Whack. That's pretty much it. And there were like Tompo tried to do like frame techniques, and Oddity tried to break the game a lot, but we didn't have the resources that we have today to watch and learn. Like when
Oh, did we lose them?
the game and try to pursue this goal time of Crystal, and after like few years we realized that it might be possible to actually beat our time. And like when it did, like everyone was going crazy because that's almost like a dream. But now Crystal's time is still relevant, but like Xelna is the only guy under 124, and I don't know who's gonna beat him really, because he's so consistent and so powerful at the game. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes back to what you were saying, though. A lot of people didn't think it would be plausible to beat Crystal, but it's happened. So you never know. There are definitely things that could be optimized here and there that we just don't know about. So going forward, I think should be really interesting.
And the first thing that struck me the most is when round one was done, I saw all the times, and there were a few forfeit. That's okay, but there were no runs under 150. That's what. And then like back in the day, runs like races was winning at mid 140s, and Fiesel's gonna vouch for me for that. Like we were playing the game, and we're only 2 players in every race, and 140 was good enough, like really good enough. And now I see all those players with sub 130s, sub 140s, like it's nothing. Like back in the day, it was good, man. Sub 140 was good. Today it's not good. Like we all know it's not. Like it's pretty impressive to see how the community went. And and as a side note, the same thing happened in Zelda 1. Like in Zelda 1, I was playing Zelda 1 in 2012, and like only Darkwing Duck was playing really seriously, and there were no players playing the game. So like Darkwing Duck was like the crystal of Zelda 1. And right now, like we just last year, we all realized that Darkwing Duck might be beatable, and like now Lack is like the new man. But it's not because Lack is like a god. Like he is, like he's a very good player, but all the new players coming in and new strats come in, and all the community just put together to just create a better run. And that's the same thing happened in this game too. I think the past changed a lot in the past 2 or 3 years, like a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And
A lot of different glitches have been found. Yeah, just like you said, in the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm. But even then, the glitches, maybe it saved around 90 seconds. I might be incorrect here, but like besides the hammer jump and the spin dash and a few tricks here and there, it's at most 90 seconds. Like a lot have been found outside those side glitches, all the new frames, like strats that save 10 or 15 frames in every room, but there is 1,000 rooms in the game, so you save 10 frames in 10,000 in like 1,000 rooms. It's a lot of minutes saved.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, just a side note because I'm talking a lot here, but like it's been fun. I don't know if I'm gonna pursue myself to go sub 130 because this week was tough in practice mode, and my viewer is gonna vouch for that too. Like I had a hard time to just concentrate. But
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that this tournament is gonna be as hype as it is now, and it's gonna be hype because all the next races are gonna be really close, and I hope to be there when Crystal Sowen and Andy fights it out because it's gonna be a great race.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of really, really cool races coming up.
Mhm.
I guess I'll just note who's in the winners bracket still right now. ACM and Christos are going. The winner of that's going to take on Andy. WQ and Addy are going to face off, and the winner of that's going to take on poor little Pinkus. So a lot of really, really good runners going to be facing off in the winners bracket, and we still have a whole bunch of second chance bracket matches coming up with a bunch of close seeds and a lot of people who've increased their PB times over the last few weeks. So this whole tournament's getting really interesting, and going back to what you said, we're definitely glad that you were a part of it and able to show us those cool strats.
Oh yeah, my first race, I kept the commentaries because they were so funny. Really good. I surprised a lot with some weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was commentating that and with RPG, and we were just like, "Whoa, he's doing this, he's doing that." We haven't seen that in so long, and yeah, it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think I didn't realize it when you said it, but it's true. Like Underwater said that I had probably the oldest PB in the tournament, and I'm pretty sure it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting really, really competitive now.
Yeah, and like thanks for everyone just putting the tournament up. Like I know there's a lot of people behind the curtain just organized the races and kept it open. It's like thanks for everyone. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah, but it's not done. People just keep watching. The next couple of weeks gonna be pretty intense.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry for everyone, but Zelna it's in the bag. the odds of him winning it's so high.
Yeah.
I don't know how he can lose.
He's definitely the
But we
most
never
consistent
know.
runner we've seen in some time.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any last words from you guys as we wrap this up?
Yeah, shoutouts to Bird Toss, Kappa.
Yeah, I don't know how many people did that in their race, but I did it and it felt good.
If I had known about it, I would have done it.
Yeah, everyone but Canis.
I threw the birds for the first time today. I didn't know it was possible.
Was my first time.
I did it, and I was scared because I didn't want to lose 4 hearts, but I did it anyways.
Nah, fortunately, you're safe when that bird's turned to ice.
But yeah, thanks guys.
Anyway,
Yeah, thank you guys.
Good race, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for racing. Unfortunately, we have King Hippo and Canis exiting the tournament now, but thanks a lot, guys. Both had a lot of really close races, including the one today, so it was a lot of fun.
Thank you for commentating, putting up stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And congratulations to iaregodzirra and Salatman, both moving on
Yeah, thanks.
to live another day. We talked about your next round matches, so good luck with those.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess I'll give one last shout out to Dark Magician, who is the one who organized this tournament. Always doing what he can to keep everything running smoothly. And shout out to, like we said, Feasel for hosting it on the Speed Gaming channel. It's been really awesome getting as many viewers as we can to watch these races.
Thank you.
Problem. So one last time, I'll remind you that Super Metroid Tournament is starting at 1 Eastern on Saturday. So make sure you guys tune into that.
And our next scheduled race for this tournament is going to be on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's going to be Parisian versus M-Chan.
Yes.
So
make sure you stay tuned.
definitely stay tuned for that. All right. Anybody else have any last things to say before we move on? Before we cut this out?
God save me in my next match. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, good luck.
Yep,
Screw
absolutely.
squirrels. I think we can all say that. And Moldorm.
Yes. We can agree with you there. Nobody likes the squirrels.
All right, GG.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
games,
GG.
everyone. And
Thanks everyone for watching.
and keep tuning in.
Bye bye.